Mr. Crosston was served with a motion in order to show cause on July 6th, 2023. The order, the most recent order regarding child support is the party's first order modifying their order for custody support and parenting time that requires Mr. Crosston to contribute $148 a month. I believe that Mr. Crosston was at our office this week and made a payment of, I'm not certain of the amount yet, but the payment previous to this week was a payment received in January of 2023 that totaled $69.66. I would indicate that Mr. Crosston's payment history up until January of 2023 was great. She paid on a regular basis up until January. Since then, it's been very sporadic. The total amount of child support owed on this charge is $1,196.10. That's prior to whatever payment she made this week. And most of that is owed to a third-party guardian. And the amount, again, prior to that payment that was made was $1,154.10 owed to the guardian, the remainder in fees. I can provide the payment history. I can provide further payment history for the court if you'd like.
Thank you. So, Ms. DeCrosta, let's talk about what you paid this week.
I paid $290.
Okay, that's good. We can take jail off the table. Let's take jail off the table and let's talk about getting back on track. How can we do that?
I tried to set up a payment plan at the office when I was there, and they said I couldn't do it there. So I figured I would try to do it here on the thing because I have no idea what's going on. I was under the impression it was supposed to be taken out of my paychecks. I've had every single one of my government checks that I was supposed to get for COVID was taken, never received a dime. I'm always getting these papers. You're always behind. I don't know what's going on. I've had payments taken out of my bank, my paychecks before. If that can't be done on a regular basis, like you said, it's been sporadic since January, and before it was great. I don't know what happened in the system. It was always taken out of my paycheck automatically. So if that can't be done in the system correctly, then I would like to set up a payment plan to where I can make a payment on my own, because I can make my bill payments on my own. I make all my bills on time and everything.
Yeah, you have a payment plan as a court order for $148 a month.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be taken out of my paychecks. It's always been taken out of my paychecks.
Well, where are you working?
I'm working at Pleasures for You in Acme. I'm working there for years.
You didn't notice that the money wasn't coming out of your paycheck?
No, I don't check my paycheck stubs. I get paid every 2 weeks.
Do we have an income withholding order for that business?
We don't. I'm just looking in our database of employers, and I don't see a Pleasures for You in our database. Mr. Crosston, do you know if the payroll comes from a different, like, are they doing business as Pleasures for You, but it's some other company?
I think it might be listed under something under my bank account. Let me look real quick. I'm looking right now.
Okay. Because we're absolutely happy to do an income withholding order. That's not a problem if we have the employer information. The last employer we had was Northland, I think.
It comes up as ACH/7997 East M. That's what it comes up in my bank account when it gets deposited.
I think ACH is just that automatic deposit. But can you find out, every business has a federal employee identification number, an FEIN. Every business has to have one. If you're able to provide that to your case manager, then we can get an income withholding order entered. I'm sure we can find the employer through the federal employee identification number, FEIN. If you get that from your employer and provide it to your case manager, an income withholding order can be generated.
FEI, what was it? FEISS?
FEIN. Federal Employer Identification Number.
Yeah, if you can just find out what that is from your employer, we'll, like Mr. Hogue said, we're happy to get an income withholding order in place. Right now, as you're aware, there isn't one in place, so we'll have to get something involved. as to how we could get payment. I mean, we can mail you a brochure on how many different ways to pay too. There are a lot of different ways to pay, but it sounds like you're interested in the income withholding order. I'm happy with that as long as you follow through with it.
Is there a way to just do it to where it comes out directly out of my bank account?
You could set something up online through the MISDU that you could enter like a debit card that's attached to your bank account, and they can debit it every week or month or whatever you set it up as. That would be done through the My Child Support website. Do you have an account set up there?
I have no idea. Probably not.
All right. Well, let's start with the federal employee identification number, and maybe we can check back in.
Okay. Who do I call when I get that?
You can
the
call
general
our main
front of the court
number.
office.
Yep. 922-4660. Your case manager is Tammy Willoughby.
Tammy Willoughby. Okay.
You can provide that information to anyone in that office, and
Correct.
they'll get it to your file.
Okay.
So the only thing I would encourage you to do is do that as quickly as possible, because otherwise, you are responsible for paying the $148 a month in a different way.
Okay.
All right, we'll adjourn this out 60 days to make sure we've got the income withholding order in place, or that she's making steady payments. I don't have a problem either way if she's paying. So whatever, however it works. Thank you, ma'am.
Order to show cause was served
right,
on
thank
Mr.
you,
Dine
Your
July
Honor.
6th, 2023. Most recent order regarding child support in this matter is the party's first order modifying their judgment of divorce. It requires $78 a month in child support and medical support. The parties have a parental time offset of 182.5 overnights each. I would indicate that up until May of 2022, Mr. Dine's payments were very good. Since then, they've been very sporadic. The last payment received on the account was an involuntary lump sum payment on April of 2023, $724.20. Currently, Mr. Dine owes $515.86 of that amount. Looks like $295 is owed to Ms. Herman, the remainder in fees and medical support to the state.
Okay, so Mr. Dine, what's been going on?
As of, I was looking at my dates here. As of May 9th, 2022, I was let go from my employer, and my income changed drastically from that point on. I started a business, and I have not had the income that I had before. And with that being said, over the last 2 months or so, I've had conversations with both of my co-parents, and we have all agreed to revoke child support and go through those steps. And with that being said, I can pay what I owe now, because I believe I'll have to do that even if we do come to that agreement. But my reason for not being able to pay was mainly because of my change of income.
Okay, what'd you say the agreement was? I couldn't quite hear you.
I've spoke to both of my co-parents, and we have come to agreements to revoke child support.
To resolve it?
To get rid of it, essentially.
Okay, you mean like opt out of front of the court services?
Opt out of paying the child support that is going to them. With that being said, if there is a way to keep the insurances, that is something that we would all want to do. Me paying for those insurances.
Well, to just get rid of child support isn't exactly, it's not just an agreement that you all can make.
Gotcha.
It's possible, but there are certain things the court has to have a hearing on and ask you questions about.
Okay.
And one of the biggest things is whether or not anyone's receiving public assistance for a minor in the case. And if that's the case, we can't just close a case.
Got it.
So, the good news on this case is you don't owe that much. and you don't have that much due per month. So how can we get you back on track? That's what I'm more worried about today.
I can make a payment towards what I owe, and then in terms of getting back on track, I would probably ask for a renewal in the amount that I owe, because like I said, my income has changed dramatically.
Just one second. Hey, Ms. Herman, was there anything that you wanted to say? Because we're getting some noise and I can't hear Mr. Dine. So was there anything that you wanted to add? Otherwise, I'm going to put you on mute.
No, there's really nothing I have to add. We've had conversations, so I'm just kind of here to listen and see what's happening.
What's the agreement that he's talking about?
What? I apologize. Let me put my baby down and walk away. I'm so sorry.
No, I understand. I was just going to let you speak now, and then usually I'll go to the recipient later. But anyway, go ahead.
Gotcha. I apologize. Okay, so what we've talked about was what he has what he's already mentioned, not paying the child support anymore. And then the other thing that we had discussed was something that's not even in our divorce agreements, but like you had with taxes and whatnot. But like you said, that's a whole kind of different avenue than what we're in. So as far as what needs to happen today, I just kind of here to listen and see what needs to be done and where we're going forward with this.
Okay, but let me understand this. Is this you all are trying to make an agreement so that there's no child support in the future? You're not talking about what's owed or the arrears, correct?
No, nope, not at all.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm going to put you on mute, ma'am. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so Mr. Dine, back to you.
Yeah.
What was it? I couldn't quite hear. So if you could just say what your plan is for today, getting back on track, we've got two cases, so we're going to go over another one in a second, but let's talk about,
yeah. As of right now, I
you-
would like to pay. I don't know if I could do that now or if I have to call a number after our hearing here, but I'd like to pay half of what I owe currently, to just get that ball rolling and making that right. But in the future, going forward with a court hearing, to forgive my phrase, but I guess, is it called revoking the child support or getting rid of the child support? But that's what I would like to go forward with.
Yeah, you'll have to file a different motion for that. But what I'll do is I'll accept it. How much time are you paying half in 14 days? How much time?
I can do it right now.
Okay, well, I'll give you 14 days just to make it clean. Okay.
Okay.
So if you can pay half of that 515 within 14 days, I'll accept that. We can, we don't have to talk about jail or anything like that. I will adjourn this out 90 days just to give you time to think about what options you have, just so you're aware. You can't just opt out of paying child support by an agreement between the parties. Okay. You'll need to file something with the court, and the court will have to decide whether that's appropriate.
Understood.
But the 90 days should be enough time for you to get something filed and at least do some research on it.
Yeah.
You can find that information at through our county's website, our 13th Circuit Court County website.
Perfect.
Mr. Hogue, go ahead.
Yeah, one additional thing, Mr. Dine. You're eligible for a review of child support. It's been more than 3 years. And since you have shared care and you indicate your income situation has changed significantly, it's possible that a review would result in an outcome of no exchange of support. If there is Medicaid, there will still be the medical contribution that you'd have to contribute regardless. But but it's possible that it would be zero just based on a review. So you might want to look into that.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah, so you've got a couple options. But what I'm going to ask or try to emphasize here is you're going to need to make those steps, okay? Because if we get back here in 90 days and we're at the same spot, we may have to have a different conversation, okay?
Understood.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Herman. Let's move to his next case, please.
Very good. And half would be 250 within 14 days.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And the next matter, Mr. Dine, is the matter of Grace Whitcup versus James Dine. Found the motion order show cause was served on July 12th. The most recent order regarding child support is the parties' consent judgment of divorce. It provides them with shared care, equal amounts of time with both parties. Same story, great payments until May of 2022. The charge in this case is very small, $44 a month. The most recent payment made was a non-voluntary lump sum in April of 2023. $383 was paid. Currently on the $44 a month obligation, $343.18 is owed. The amount owed to the other party is $130. The amount owed to the state for medical support is $150.18. I can provide further information for the court's review.
What was owed again? I'm sorry.
The total amount owed is $343.18. It's a very small charge.
Sure. So again, sir, but overall, the balance owed is fairly small, of course, with such a low payment. That's been a lot of non-payment.
Right.
Are we anything else you wanted to add that'd be different from the last case?
No, sir. I've had the same conversations with Grace. From my understanding, she's not present. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, we've had the same conversations. Her only main concern, I don't know if you guys can answer this question, but let's say we were to go through another hearing or 2 or 3 or however many it takes to, let's say, in my favor, revoke that child support. Is there a way for me to continue on paying for solely the state's insurance?
Yeah. So
Without-
again, in this case, the same advice, or not advice, the same information that I provided last time is you're eligible for a review. That doesn't even require filing a motion. That requires just submitting a request for a review to our office. You can write it on a piece of paper. I'd like a review of child support. Since you have shared care, equal amounts of time, and since your income is reduced from when it was originally established, it's very likely that would result in zero exchange of child support. But because there is Medicaid, you would still be obligated to pay that medical support that goes to the state. So yes, there's a way to do that. But again, you're going to have to at least take the step of requesting a review to begin with.
Understood. Thank you.
Any offer in terms of what you're willing to pay on the arrears for this?
I would like to do the same and pay half within the 14 days that you allotted me on the other case.
Perfectly fine with me. Yep, I accept that. I'll again adjourn this one out 90 days. But sir, just remember, if you can just request that review, that will get you moving toward, you'll get a better idea of what things look like.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Understood.
So in other words, no one's giving you legal advice, but it might be a better option for you to start there rather than file a motion to opt out, because I think what Mr. Hogue is hinting at is there may be Medicaid, there may be public assistance, which if you file the motion to opt out, I suspect there's a motion fee. Then you get it scheduled for a hearing with whoever's assigned to your case, whichever referee. And then you only ask like 5-6 questions. And that's one of the first questions. And that's in my experience, the most common reason why that type of motion's denied.
Understood.
And you're already entitled to a free review of your child support in both cases. Okay.
Sounds good. And
so
from what
the
you
onus
guys
the onus is on you to take care of that. Okay.
Understood. Got it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
A quick question.
Thank you.
Mr. Dine, you propose to pay half. The total balance is $343. What do you mean by half?
Half of that exact number would be 150, 120, 150. Is that correct? I'm sorry.
I'll indicate
150 is fine.
150.
Yeah, just make it
That's
simple. 150 is fine.
150.
The offer is, I accept the offer.
Motion order show
Sounds
cause was
good.
served on Ms.
Thank you,
McNeil,
sir.
July 12th, 2023. The party's most recent order regarding child support is their judgment of divorce. It was entered in May of 2022. It requires $245 a month in child support for 2 children. That is based on a shared care arrangement with each party having approximately half the time. I would indicate that overall, the history since the case began charging was good until January of 2023. Since then, there have not been any payments made. The most recent payments made were in January of 2023 that totaled $127.57. Currently, there's $1,993.58 owed. And of that amount, $1,508.96 is owed to Mr. Hansen. $414.62 is owed to the state, and the remainder in fees. I can provide further payment history for the court's review if you'd like.
All right, Ms. McNeil. So what's been going on?
I had court with you guys about 10 times last year, the police, CPS, numerous times about all that. And then due to that fact, Wendy's lowered my hours and also switched my paychecks, and then they lowered my pay as well. And then I didn't have a ride to work because during that time my car got taken away as well, repossessed, due to like court and the cops and CPS harassments and court appearances nonstop. And so I didn't have a way to get to work. I live in Interlaken, and so I've been getting back to work. I'm back at Blarney Castle right now, and I informed the courts last week that they can garnish my checks through there.
Okay, great. Do we have that? Let's start there then. So you got a new job. We'll start on a positive note here. So do we have that employer information, or could you provide that to us now?
Looks like
Blarney Castle.
we have that as of yesterday, Your Honor.
Oh, great. Okay. So we can get an income withholding order generated, ma'am, and sounds like we'll be able to get things back on track. Are you working full time there?
No. How do I get a reevaluation of child support?
You file a motion.
Do you know what that motion, what I should write on the top of the motion?
You write what you're wanting to do.
We have forms and
Okay.
instructions available on our website, Ms. McNeil. Blank
Okay, because
forms
it was
for.
fraudulently made by Andrew Hansen. He made fraudulent claims, and that is what triggered part of my child support being inaccurate as
Okay.
well.
So what are you? But we're here for you to be ordered. You've been ordered to show cause, so we're here for you. So what can you pay in the next 14 days?
You can garnish my check. I can pay $50 at this moment because I just got back to work. So I can make a $50 payment the day I get my pay card and my paycheck.
I'll accept that. I'll give you 14 days to pay that. But then with the income withholding order, it's going to be taking out the regular monthly amount. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Hansen, was there anything you wanted to say or add?
Most of that's inaccurate, but
Well, we're not here to
argue.
argue about any of that.
And yeah, if she's back to work and we're going, then we're going.
Okay. So what I'll do, since we just got the income withholding order generated yesterday, let's adjourn this out 60 days. Ma'am, if it's generated and working and you're making steady payments, we won't have to have court again, okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
It's really
I would
just to
like to
make
ask about
it's really just to make sure that the payments are coming in, okay, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, thank you
Mr.
both.
Morrison was served with a motion in order to
Have
show
a good
cause
day.
on
Bye.
July 12th,
Thanks.
2023. The child support obligation is based on the party's judgment of divorce, which was entered in February of 2022. That requires $303 a month. That is based on not only Mr. Morrison's income at the time the calculation was performed, but also based on a parental time offset of 157 overnights with Mr. Morrison annually. The most recent payment made, I believe Mr. Morrison was at the office yesterday making a payment at the front desk. Prior to that, there was a $2,000 payment made in April of 2023. Prior to whatever payment he made yesterday, the total amount owed on the case is $1,957. Of that amount, $1,766 is owed to the other parent. The remainder in fees and costs associated with the issuance of a bench warrant that was issued in April as a result of his failure to appear at a show cause hearing, which has now been rescheduled for today's date. I would indicate that over the history of the case, Mr. Morrison has generally paid lump sums with no kind of routine regularity in payments.
So, sir, what'd you pay yesterday? Let's start there.
I paid $800 yesterday.
Oh,
800. Wow. Okay. So we're definitely going to take jail off the table. Let's talk about, I think the concern, if I hear this correctly from the front of the court office, is just getting steady payments in. You know, the lump sum,
Yeah.
that's helpful. That payment's almost, almost half of what you owe. So that's great. But if we could get steady payments, then you don't have to come to court and talk to me. Okay.
Yep.
How can we do that? Are you working?
I am working. I've just had a really crappy go of things lately. Like tomorrow I'll be making another $500 payment. My next paycheck I'll be making another $500. And then my first payment of next month I'll be all caught up.
Okay. Well, I trust you.
It's generally my plan.
Yeah. But wouldn't you find, I accept all that. I trust you. You paid 800, you're paying another 500. I'll give you 14 days for that one, to be honest. But if you're making steady payments, then we don't have to come in and have court. So it seems to me like it would be easier to make a $300 payment than to make these larger lump sums, but that's up to you, I guess.
No, you're very much correct. Like I said, I've just had a really bad go of things. My fiance ended up having a mental breakdown in the spring. Was in the hospital for 3 months at a reverted age of 8 years old. So now she's out. We're back in town. Moved back to Traverse City. $1,800 a month for rent. Her Medicare's just kicked in. So I've literally inherited financially her burden and her 2 daughters. So it's just been a really hard go of things. And now that her Medicaid or insurance has finally kicked in, it's made things a little bit easier, and I should be able to get caught up and make those steady payments. And I'm actually going to set it up to a automatic payment to come automatically withdrawal through my account.
Okay,
through
great.
Misha.
Well, we're certainly sorry to hear about the hardship. And what I'm going to do is I'll just adjourn this out 120 days, see if we can get him back on track.
Okay.
I trust that you're working towards that, sir. And there's not much more I can say about it. Just to kind of
All right.
encourage you to do that. It sounds like you understand. To me, it sounds like you've already got a plan to get back on track. So I trust you. Go ahead, Mr. Hogue.
All right, so Mr. Morrison, in addition, you filled out a case update information form yesterday, providing us with an updated address. We appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you forgot to sign this document, so I just want to verify on the record what your address is, and then I can indicate that it was verified on the record. Mr. Smith, July 12th, 2023. The party's consent judgment of divorce is their most recent order regarding child support that was entered in October of 2022. It requires $147 a month in child support and medical support. The most recent payment made was a $10 payment in July of 2023. I believe that's the only payment that was made on the account. Currently, there's $1,960.50 owed in total. Of that amount, $1,901 even is owed to Ms. Smith, the remainder in costs and fees.
I just want to first note, sir, is that a child involved in this case?
What do you mean?
Well, there's a child in an adult court. I'm wondering why. I mean, that's wildly inappropriate.
She just woke up. Why don't you go?
I don't know how this discussion is going to go. So I don't know what's been going on with child support.
I don't know. I basically have trusted too many people. And between just too many people as far as taking advantage, I may put it that way.
Okay, well, part of it, we're not out of control with the arrears. Okay, it's not hopeless yet. I'm just trying to figure out, is there a way then we can get you back on track? Because to be fair, $147 a month is not that much.
Well, I took on all the debt, and like I stated in my letter there, she should be doing fine with no child support at all. I know she's got a good business, and she's consistent with, and she's always been a good hard worker. And so Me, I've had to rely on other people, and they've betrayed me and owing me a lot of money.
Okay, are you currently working?
Yeah, I've got my own business. We do lawn care and then snow plowing in the wintertime. And last winter wasn't too good. And my son was working with me. Dawson, go back in the bedroom. Okay. Go unlock the door for me, please. The house door. And my son took enormous amount of advantage of me. And it just, I don't know. I just trust too many people, and they betray me, owing me a lot of money. And so my son, he owes me a lot of money, and he was using my equipment and not paying me for it. And then I asked him, well, you need to start paying rent to live here, which he, I guess, felt entitled that he didn't have to. Well, I told him, if you can't pay rent, you need to move out. So he moved out while I was in church. He used my equipment while I was in church, just to make money. And of course, then I've got repairs, and it's been snowballing ever since last year. And a lot of it is, now that he's gone, I've got one worker that's devoted to me. Nowadays, if you can get a worker to stick with you, you're fortunate. And he's one of the reasons why I'm still going, I guess. And from there, I've lost accounts through my son. And I don't know, and then people that I would do work for, I do my records on paper. My son would do it on his tablet, and he never gave me the invoices or anything that people owe me that I've done work for. And he was collecting the money from people that I had done work for. And so, I don't know, that problem is all gone. Now I just got to look forward to, working and reassessing how to get things done. And I don't foresee any additional income coming until probably fall time for fall cleanup. And then hopefully I'll be able to do Christmas trees. That is extremely difficult as far as finding supply. And
Well,
anyway,
how are we going to get back on track with the 147 a month?
right now I'm even late on I've been falling behind on my mortgage. And the paper electric bill was on shut off. I used my charge card to get caught up, and then the phone bills, but I've got to work on a modification here, to where I can sustain myself.
All right, Ms. Smith, anything you'd like to add or say?
Just that, I guess it would be helpful to have for the kids.
I can't hear anything she
I couldn't
said.
hear either.
I was just saying it would be helpful to have something for the kids to help.
Well, we got to get this payment coming in. So how can we do that, sir? I mean,
I don't know at this point, if things keep going the way they are, I'll be losing the house, and I'll be homeless.
All right. Well, here's what I'll do. for today's purposes, I'll adjourn this out 60 days, but I'm going to be expecting steady payment. If we come back in 60 days and we're not getting 147 a month, we may have to have a different conversation.
Okay.
So you'll have to figure that out.
Lots of jobs out there.
Yeah, I've got a minimum $6,000 overhead each month. And so,
Understood, but we've got a valid court order for child support, so we have to focus on the child, okay?
I've been doing my part. I've been watching the kids over 50% of the time and taking care of them. And they are doing really well. I haven't been able to do, I was able to get funding for their schooling, and that is very important to me.
All right,
And-
sir, but like I said, we'll have to get this coming in because 147, I think you should be able to bring that in per month. And even though, 1900 isn't out of control for some balances I've seen, it's a lot of non-payment for this case. So we'll see you in 60 days and hopefully things have turned around.
Okay.
The parties have a $375 a month child support obligation. The most recent payment made was in March of 2023. Currently, Mr. Bembeneck owes $4,027.68 of that amount. $2,460.98 is owed to the other parent. $891.70 is owed to the state for medical support. $150 in costs related to the issuance of bench warrants, and the remainder in fees. I can provide further payment information for the court's record, as well as I didn't write down the most recent order regarding child support, so I'll be able to provide that in just a moment.
Okay, sir, what's been going on?
I was a machinist for 5 years, and in March, I decided to take a career change. Being in the machining environment makes me too sick. I tried it for 5 years, didn't work out. Right now, I am a licensed insurance agent with the state of Michigan. I'm working at Banker's Life. However, it's a little bit slow going. I have made zero to very little money in the past few months. I started at Modern District Financial back in April, where I got my license. And from there, I most recently moved to Banker's Life because they have a better training program and a better onboarding success rate. I just started there about 3 weeks ago.
Okay. So, well, congratulations on the new job. That's exciting. I will say, with the amount owed in your total arrears, it seems like there's been a history of non-payment. It's not just since March. Okay. So,
Yes, sir.
Here's what I'm going to do. I know it's a new job, but I need you to start to figure out how to get this payment coming in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on a payment plan that comes with a contempt finding, because I believe that you have the ability to pay. You're not paying. Okay. It takes, we're not going to, it's not jail today or anything like that. Okay. But it's a payment plan. And I need this to be taken seriously, which is, it'll be a 2-year payment plan. You're to pay what's owed plus $87 a month. If you fail to do so, a bench warrant could be issued for your arrest. You may have to serve up to 30 days in jail. I will set bond at $600. What this means, sir, is you're not going to jail at all or anything today. You just have to figure out how to get those payments coming in. If you pay as you're already ordered, essentially, you don't have to worry about jail at all. I don't want to see you there. It doesn't make any sense, but we've had a lot of non-payment before today.
I understand.
Hearing with
All right.
regard to
Thank you,
child
sir.
support.
Thank you.
Ms. Conlon, if you'd state your name for the record, please.
Cynthia Conlon on behalf of William Crenshaw.
Thank you. Ms. Stevens?
I'm sorry. Okay. I'll shut up.
Ms. Stevens, if you'd state your name for the record, please.
Allison Stevens.
Thank you. Mr. Crenshaw?
Yes, Your Honor. William Crenshaw.
Thank you. Yeah, I just go around the Zoom boxes as they appear to me, so I don't miss anyone. Mr. Hogue.
All right, Jeremy Hogue, front of the court. This is the matter of Allison Stevens versus William Crenshaw. The original motion in order to show cause in this matter was served in November 8th, 2022 for a 12/2022 hearing. At that hearing, Mr. Crenshaw requested court-appointed counsel. Ms. Conlon was appointed. The matter was adjourned to January 19th, 2023. At that hearing, he appeared and reported a new employer. He was given 60 days, a 60-day adjournment as a result of that reported new employer. That notice of adjournment was, then a notice of adjournment was mailed March 1st, 2023. The matter was adjourned to 5/25/23. Another notice of adjournment, because there had been some payment made, was mailed April 26th, 2023 to adjourn to 7/20/23. And then another notice of adjournment was mailed July 11th, adjourning the matter from July 20th to today's date. It's all started back in November of 2022. The most recent order regarding child support is the party's order for custody, support, and parenting time. It requires $243 a month. The most recent payment received was in March of this year. It was a non-voluntary lump sum, totaled $1,944.05. I would indicate that over the history of the case since 2019, we got about half the months that Mr. Crenshaw has paid and about half that he has not. He currently owes $1,421.49. Of that amount, $1,246.48 is owed to Miss Stevens. I can pull further payment history up for the court's review.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Conlon, anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client?
Well, I'm not sure, Your Honor, whether payments that have been made were through income withholding. I do have a notice of wage withholding from Mr. Crenshaw's former employer that Mr. Crenshaw received. That was Advantage Sales and Marketing. That had stated that they did receive the child support order on February 2nd of 2023. So there should have been some income withholding payments, and if there weren't, I'm not sure why. With that said, though, Mr. Crenshaw was in a car accident. He did lose the job that he formerly had. However, he has obtained employment at Rite Aid and also has an orientation date on August 22nd with UPS. So he will be back to work very quickly. So I'll leave it up to the court what to do going forward. I'll understand if the court doesn't wish to adjourn this matter anymore. If a finding of contempt is made and Mr. Crenshaw is placed on a payment plan, I would just ask that he be given a little time to get going and get working before that payment plan is enforced.
Thank you. Ms. Stevens, anything you'd like to add or say?
I don't think so. I am, in agreement though with my co-parent's representative that, adjourning this any further, I think probably should not happen, but agreement to just leave it up to the court to decide.
What do you mean by nothing further? You mean any consequence or punishment? Is that kind of what I'm getting at?
No, I'm just saying that I would leave that up to you guys, but I know this has been delayed quite a few times, so that was all I was saying.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not interested in adjourning. I think because of the length of time for everything, we'll absolutely take jail off the table. I mean, that's not even a thought for me. So we're okay there. I think a payment plan is a good idea. I think he has had the ability to pay and hasn't paid. I don't know what happened with the income withholding order either, but we've had a lot of non-payment. So seems likely, especially since this started in November of 22, he's known since then he should be paying. But he's got a job and a new interview coming up. So there are positives here. I don't want to say that we're headed in the wrong direction, but I think that I'm not finding a hardship, especially since he is working right now. We'll just get him on a 2-year payment plan with a contempt finding, that being that he has had the ability to pay and hasn't been paying. But like I said, immediate jail is not even in my mind, so I'm okay with that. But let's do a payment plan, sir. I'm also on board with Ms. Conlon's suggestion of starting it. I would say, is September enough time? I mean, I'm okay with that. We're getting some payment. We're getting something down off the arrears, but it's mainly because of that lump sum of almost $2,000. I mean, let's be honest. So, I'd say September we'll start the payment plan. We won't start it today or anything. Give you some time to get settled in. And I'll do, so that'll be what's owed. Typically I'll do $87 towards arrears, but I'll do $40 towards the arrears instead, Just cut the arrears part in half just to get you back on track, sir. It sounds like you're doing the right things. So we gotta have payment coming in, and it's a little alarming that we've had issues since November of 22. Because even if I adjourned it, we'd almost be at November again, and I don't want to push it another year with without some steady payments. When I think with these jobs in place, you're in a good position, sir, to make those payments. So that's the good news. With the payment plan, then. If you fail to pay as ordered, a bench warrant could be issued for your arrest. You may have to serve up to 30 days in jail. I'm going to set bond at $500. But for Mr. Crenshaw's sake, as long as you pay as ordered, you don't have to ever worry about jail, and that's not where we want you anyway. That's not the point of the plan. It's just to get you back on track. Okay, sir?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you all. Oh, I do have to add, we have attorney fees, and then I'll discharge Ms. Conlon.
And he appeared,
Okay,
and at
thank
the
you,
time he appeared, the judge found he had no current ability to pay his support and wanted the matter to be rescheduled for this date. The most recent order regarding child support is their judgment of divorce, entered August 2012. Excuse me, the third order modifying judgment of divorce entered August 2012. The monthly charge is $163 at the time. The child has emancipated in 2021, so there is no current charge. This is an arrearage balance only. Mr. Corrigan currently owes $3,727.63 total in arrearage. Of that amount, $2,710.50 is owed to Ms. Simerson. The remainder in costs associated with the issuance of bench warrants, and fees. Again, this is an arrearage only case. And the last payment received was in December of 2022.
All right, sir. So the good news is this is an arrears only case. What I'll often do is just see if there's an offer of something that you think you could pay per month. And if I think it's reasonable, we just accept that, set that as the order, and move on. So that way we're just working at the arrears. Is there anything you're able to pay per month?
Well, like I told the magistrate, I was working on getting a job at Borg Warner, and I landed it. I got it, and I'm at work right now.
Excellent.
I got paperwork for taking child support out.
Oh, well, where are you working?
Borg Warner.
Checking, Your Honor.
Sure. I'm still on board with, if you tell me an amount you think we can put that in your income withholding order. It's arrears only. I don't want you to have to keep coming to court. And if you just propose something and it's something I think is reasonable, we can do that.
Let them take the standard, and that bill paid off. I don't mind.
Okay, the 163.
Look at the paperwork real quick.
Look, Your Honor, it looks like an income withholding order was sent the end of July to Arch Staffing and Consulting LLC.
Yep.
Is that? I mean, I understand you're
That's
working.
Through a temp agency.
Is that who you're working through?
Yes. Oh,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And that was sent for $242.50. So it's looking at that 163 and it added like $80 a month.
Is that an amount you're comfortable? Are you comfortable with that amount, sir?
For the hold on, let me reading.
Can you just tell me what you think you're able to pay, and we can get this going for you? I'm trying to help you out.
I know that. Help me out. Okay, what I'm trying to do is get in a house before winter.
Okay.
That's one of my main projects. I'm living out in the woods right now.
Okay. Do you think you can afford $100 a month?
I can go higher than that.
Just tell me the amount, then. That's why I'm asking you. Here's what we'll do. I'm going to put $100 a month on on the order. Any amount you pay over that, sir, is going to help you in the arrears. So that's what I'm saying with your arrears. It's about 3,000 in there. It's not going to go up. You don't have a current charge. So whatever you pay over that $100, that'll be good. I'm just trying to give you a reasonable amount to pay so that you don't have to come to court if you don't pay. Okay. Or can't afford it. I'm sorry. If you don't pay, you'll be back in court.
Very good.
Right.
We will adjust it to $100 a month. No problem.
I was okay with the 193.
Okay, 193 it is. I don't know what to tell you. You got to pay that every month, and then if you don't, we'll see you back in court. But that's anything you pay above that will go towards the arrears. Okay, sir. Time set for front of the court. Thank you very much. Child support. Ms. Doberstein, if you'd state your name for the record, please.
Brianna Doberstein.
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
Jordan Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Hogue.
Jeremy Hogue, friend of the court. This is the matter of Brianna Doberstein versus Jordan Scott. Hearing occurred in May this year. It was adjourned. Even though Mr. Scott failed to appear, it was adjourned on the record because there had been some payments made. The most recent order regarding child support is their party's order for custody, support, and parenting time entered in February of 2020. That order requires $888 a month in child support. The most recent payments made were in June of 23. They total $635.37. Mr. Scott currently owes a total of $6,596.30. Of that total amount, $6,149.93 is owed to Ms. Doberstein, the remainder in fees and medical support to the state. I can pull further payment history up for the court's review, but I would indicate for the record that Mr. Scott's overall payment history has been poor.
All right, Mr. Scott, so what's been going on?
My company that I had a trucking business that recently went under. The market has been absolutely horrible. Just trying to stay profitable and pay my own bills has been very difficult. So I recently gave up on that, sold everything, tried to come back and find a job that would pay me enough to be able to survive and still pay that amount in child support. I got let go from the first trucking job I got when I got back. I was just too nervous. The trucking industry gives me a lot of anxiety. That's ultimately why I failed. In the past month, I got put back at a company I used to work for in the past, Alliance Beverage. I should have just got my first paycheck this Friday, so it should have been garnished. To my knowledge, I was going to contact HR today and see to confirm that. But I'm trying my hardest to make payments, and life's just a very bit intense to me right now. I'm just trying to make it, especially after losing everything. It's been very difficult for me.
All right. Well, congrats on the new job. That part's good. Do we have anything, Mr. Hogue, in our file that would reflect Alliance? Is it Alliance Beverage, you said?
Yes.
We'll just check and see if we've got an order in or if we can generate one.
Looks like we just sent an amended income withholding order to Alliance Beverage August 1st. So they should have received it prior to the paycheck, and hopefully that would be hopefully that should be coming in. But you're going to need to check your pay stub, or like you indicated, check with HR to make sure that it was withheld. If it wasn't, I'm going to tell you the amount that you should pay based on, you pay every week or every 2 weeks?
It's biweekly.
Okay. Then the amount that should be coming out biweekly based on the current charge plus a payment towards the arrears would be $454.02. So if that didn't come out of your check, that's the amount you need to pay.
$454.02.
Correct.
Okay.
In either way, we're looking for $880 a month. So we have to make sure that that's being paid by the end of the month. Ms. Doberstein, anything you'd like to add or say?
No.
All right. So it sounds like you're on the right track. You know, you've got a job, you're working. So I'm comfortable waiting to see if this income withholding order generates and goes through. You know, make sure you keep this job. The only thing I can really point out, which is I assume you know, is $880 a month is going to add up if there's non-payment. So we already have $6,000 basically owed, and I don't want that to be turn into something that's absolutely insurmountable. Okay, because at a certain point, it becomes it can be a potential for a felony prosecution. Okay.
Yep.
We want to keep you out of jail. We want to keep you working. We want to keep that sort of thing going. So what I would recommend is that you focus on the job and try not to lose it, because with that amount, if we're not getting that amount, the arrears are just going to go up. Okay. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm sure you're well aware of that, but I'm comfortable with today adjourning it out 60 days since you have the new job. It's not like you're coming in here and saying you're not working or anything. We have proof. We have an income withholding order in place that should generate steady payments. And that's what we're looking for right now. Okay. We'll get the arrears paid down as you go. That's okay. It's just, I don't want this thing to really get out of hand. Okay. But with $880 a month, it's going to go up with non-payment. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Your Honor.
We'll check on it in 60 days, see where we're at. You've got the job and you're paying steadily through the income withholding order. That will start to carve down some of the arrears. So we'll get you back on track. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
DS.
All right. Thank you all.
Steinbach appeared June 8th, 2023 at a show cause hearing. At that hearing, she reported that she will be resuming regular payments. The matter was adjourned to today's date to monitor whether or not that happened. The party's current support obligation is based on their second order modifying their order for custody support and parenting time. That requires $227 a month. The most recent payments made in this case were from February of 2022. So Ms. Steinbach did not pay anything since the June promise. She currently owes $2,200.30 of that. $2,015.68 is owed to the other party, the remainder in fees and medical support to the state. I can pull the payment history up if the court would like to review.
Okay, ma'am. So what's been going on since our last hearing?
Well, I did get a job. I did make a payment. I have a copy of the money order receipt for it.
What'd you pay?
I paid $230. The money order, I sent it out. I got it on, let's see. I don't see a date on this, but I just sent it out Tuesday. I paid $230.
Okay.
I have been trying to get a job. Like I had said in a previous meeting, I've been having a hard time finding a babysitter for my children. My husband has been out of, my fiance, we're not legally married, but he has been out of work. He has gone back to work, but we haven't gotten any kind of payment, any checks yet. I went back to work 2 weeks ago, part-time. That is all I can find a babysitter for and afford. So I did try to make a payment. I'm trying. I did go back to work. I did talk to my caseworker and let her know that I made a payment, and she is supposed to be putting in a payment holding to take it out of my paychecks.
Okay, where are you working? Let's talk about that.
The Blarney Castle Oil Easy Mart in Lake City.
We have an income withholding order that looks like it was generated August 8th, Your Honor.
Excellent. Okay, so we're getting back on track. So here's the issue. That's all good news. We got an income withholding order. We got a payment since our last time. Here's what I would recommend. It's likely you wouldn't be on this docket if you would have paid that closer to the last hearing than closer to today. Does that make sense?
Yes, I was trying, but I couldn't. I had found a job, but they gave me a runaround for like 3 weeks, and by that time, waiting on just the one job, I pretty much ran out of time.
Understood. I understand. So what I'm going to do today is we've got how long does it take do we think for that income withholding order to really generate?
It should be to actually, I noticed that the employer was added August 8th. I'm just now adding the income withholding order to the file. So it will generate tomorrow and get mailed to Blarney Castle. And it looks like the system would like to set it for her current obligation of $227 a month plus $50 a month. If that satisfies the court, then that satisfies the front of the court.
Yes. So what we'll do in that case is I'm just going to adjourn it out 30 days to make sure it's in and that you keep the job, ma'am. It's not that I don't trust you. It's just that way. Once we have that, we'll get the payment plan going. And we otherwise I just dismiss it. If it was running and generated today, I just dismiss this. But it seems like you're working hard to get this paid, working part-time. And so I'm happy with your efforts, in other words, for right now. So what I'm going to do is just adjourn it out 30 days, make sure that income withholding order is going in, and then we should be all set. Okay.
Okay,
Very
thank
good.
you.
Someone will notify you if you do not have to appear. Otherwise, you do need to appear. Okay.
January 4th, 2023.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Stevens
Thank you.
was originally received the motion order to show cause January 4th, 2023 for a February hearing. That was adjourned to May. It was again adjourned to August to today's date. Party's most recent order regarding child support is their third order modifying order for custody support and parenting time that was entered in November of 2010. That requires $453 a month. The original hearing was rescheduled because Mr. Stevens paid a couple of payments in February and March. Last payments made were in March, $134.27. His overall payment history since 2009 has been poor. He currently owes a total of $43,374.30. Of that amount, $37,627.53 is owed to the other parent. There's $4,702 owed to the state related to confinement as well as medical support, and the remainder in fees and costs associated with the issuance of multiple bench warrants. And I can pull further payment history up for the court's review.
All right, Mr. Stevens, what's been going on?
So I got on nonstop payments as of in 2018, I think around September until November 2020. You'd show that I was paying the child support payments and the arrears, right, from 2018 to 2020. I guess before that, I wasn't living right, and without the parenting, I made a dumb mistake in 2010, signing over my rights when I was a dumb kid, and it's the worst thing I ever did. The child support payments at that time. At that time, Vanessa was in jail for running a drug house, and I still got the children were with the grandparents. I tried to get the children, and they were with their grandparents. At that time, back in 2010, my child support was $998 a month, is what they wanted me to pay, and I couldn't live this. I'm making maybe $1,500 a month, and they wanted $998 a month. So I foolishly signed over rights to the children in 2010. I didn't know that didn't stop child support. Okay, so fast forward, I had, I've seen you guys a couple times for payments. 2018, I started paying consistently the arrears and the payments. I had a discectomy surgery back in 2020 during the pandemic. I lived in Saginaw, Michigan, and that was quite the recovery. I was working for SC Johnson Ziploc in Bay City, Michigan, and after my back surgery recovery, they didn't hold my job for me. At that particular time, it was really hard to find work in Saginaw in the inner city. The pandemic was huge. A lot of businesses were closing down. Businesses were making do with 1-2, employees only. It was really hard. May of 21, after searching for work all over in the inner city, I got a job offer up in Kingsley, Michigan, to run J. Wall Diner, a restaurant that my prior boss was opening up. So I opened J. Wall Diner, Kingsley. So that's what brought me up north, and so it was really hard staffing. We ended up shutting that down. It was myself and 2 other people. We ended up closing that. It didn't last long. I had another discectomy surgery in December of 2021, right, for my L4 and my L5 disc. I have degenerative disc. I'm healed from that now. I'm in the parking lot right now of Traverse City Products. Orientation started at 11 o'clock today, so I told them I may run a little bit late. Throughout the years, back in 2010 when I split up with Vanessa, she was with my brother. They have a domestic violence case, and it kind of broke us apart. She was with my brother, and oh, are you there?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, and so in 22, I didn't talk to my brother for 12 years. I was talking to him because we had relationships prior to Faith being born and whatnot, and it makes me question if Faith's my child. I signed over rights, and you guys can start taking it out of it's been hard getting full-time work. I worked the $100 payments. I was doing part-time at 3 doors down. So you can see last March when they stopped, I was working part-time. It was at this particular time, I'm still healing from my second back surgery. It's hard to be on my feet. So they let me go due to me not being able to perform the job and be on my feet for 10 hours a day. So I'm just getting to the point right now where I can work 8, 10-hour days. Going into orientation at Traverse City Products, so you guys can start taking it from my check. I would like a paternity test. I know it's late. My daughter, if that is my daughter, she recently, well, a couple of years ago, she reached out to me, said, I want to know about you, because it's been 10 years. I wrote Vanessa letter after letter after letter, wanting a relationship with my kids. Nothing. I haven't heard from her since 2010, and never got a response ever. And my life's never been complete. Doesn't matter what I have in my life, it's never been complete. Not knowing what about my daughter, what she turned out to be, And she reached out to me, and we were talking consistently a couple of years back. Then she blocked me. She reached out. She said, I'm sorry. I'm making my stepdad mad by talking to you. And I've been unable for 10 years to have any type of relationship. The outlandish things being said about me. When my daughter says, wow, you aren't what mom said that you were, it hurt, man. And it didn't drive me to pay. It didn't drive me. I want a paternity test. You guys can start taking it out. I should start on the 20th of Traverse City Products in Traverse City. Start taking it out of my check, get me back on track. But
all right. So what we're going to do based on that, sir, I understand. And I am empathetic to what you're saying, your story here. But what we're going to do is get you back on track child support wise, because for the other issues, I'm not able to cover those today. Okay. So
yeah, what route do I do? What route do I do?
Based on the statements made today, the issue that I'm going to find is that you are able to pay. So we're back on track. You're healed or healing in the process. You've got a good job. This is good. We don't have to talk about jail. We'll get an income withholding order going with TC Products, but I am going to make a contempt finding and because it's certain in terms of right now, I don't find any manifest hardship. And so we need to see payments coming in. The other issues, which I understand that are very important to you, unfortunately for the court today, I can only enforce a valid order. So that's really all I can handle for you. So we're going to put you on a payment plan. That'll be a 2-year payment plan. You're to pay what's owed plus $50 a month on the arrears. If you fail to do so, a bench warrant could be issued for your arrest. You may have to serve up to 30 days in jail. I'll set bond at $700. If you pay as ordered, you don't even have to come to court again. That's what I'm hoping, sir. And we can kind of turn things around. You'll have an opportunity to take care of what other issues you are raising today that for whatever, for better or for worse, I'm not able to cover those today.
Okay.
I'll start this payment plan though in September, Mr. Hogue, not immediately. Give them a couple weeks here to get going on the new job and get things going. So go ahead, Mr. Hogue.
Your Honor.
Mr. Stevens.
Yeah.
I need the only thing we can address today is this child support issue, but I need to know, you said you're at TC Products, you have orientation today. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
but I don't have TC Products in our database. I'm going to need you to contact our office to provide the federal employer identification number for the company so that we can get that income withholding order sent and you can at least get on track with that and then start dealing with the other issues. Okay.
Okay. Mr. Hogue and Your Honor, I'm waiting for this afternoon at 3:15. I also have a drug test at Munson. I have a background check through Sterling, that's going through Traverse City Products. Okay. I also this afternoon, I have my resume on Indeed. Sarah Lee had contacted me. I'm either going to be going, in the next week, 10 days, let's say, to Traverse City Products or Sarah Lee Bakery. Okay.
Just let us know which.
Pardon me.
Yeah, you can just let us know which.
I'm waiting for a background check right now. Nothing.
Understood. Thank you, sir. We'll stand adjourned.
Thank you. Jeez. 58 DS. Mr. Stokes appeared at a show cause hearing May 11th, 2023. At that hearing, he alleged that he had some manifest hardship. At that hearing, he was ordered to provide verification and to resume making payments. The matter was adjourned to today's date to follow up.
Sorry, sir.
The most recent payments made were in May of 2022, $97.04. So Mr. Stokes has not paid anything since that May hearing. His total obligation is based on.
It's not your turn. You don't just interrupt people. We're not going to interrupt you. So just hang on for a second.
His,
you got it. Okay.
most recent payments are based on the third order modifying the order for custody support and parenting time entered in July of 2014. That requires $211 a month, based on a parental time offset of 156 overnights a year. I would indicate that the child in this case, David, he is scheduled to emancipate September 21st, 2023. So this current obligation is only going to charge through September. The total arrearage balance at this time is $2,441.96. Of that, $2,114.78 is owed to the other party.
All right. Thank you, sir. Now, Mr. Stokes, it's your opportunity.
Sorry about that, Your Honor. And he stated the last payment was made in January of 2022. That's not correct. Over the last, I'd say 5 months, I've made nearly $1,000 worth of direct payments to Ruth Ann Hagen, of which the last payment of $250 was returned to me by her because friend of the court said I could no longer make direct payments to her.
Well, that's always been the case. You have to run the payments through the front of the court. If you want, because that's the only way we can keep track of things.
I understand that, but they did allow about $800 worth of payments to go directly to her, and then she just reported it to friend of the court. So those were payments made. So that's incorrect saying the last payment was made in 2022.
Well, what's correct about? Yeah, did you pay anything through the front of the court?
No, I have not.
Then the statement's correct.
But she did verify with friend of the court that the payments were received.
But but did she tell the friend of the court to waive any of the arrears? That's the issue.
Well, that's a great question.
Because we don't have any record of that. That's why I'm asking.
Well, that's a great question. I guess if those payments that I made directly to her are not reflected upon my account, well, that's an issue.
Not unless she tells us. If she tells us that's what happened, then we waive that part out. We'll work with you. It's not a good idea to pay it that way. But if you have a co-parent who will tell us, I forgive this amount, we will do that. Okay. But we can only enforce the order through the front of the court. So you need to be paying through front of the court. Here's my issue.
Yes, sir.
Your son emancipates next month. So you're not going to have a charge, a monthly charge. But here's what I'd like to do right now is, what is an amount you think you can pay going forward so that we can start chiseling away at the arrears? Because there's no point in me adjourning this out to wait for that time. Let's just get something in the books now, and that will be what we will enforce. But I'll give you an opportunity to make a deal here.
Well, sir, I'm a registered nurse, and in fact, it's right on the top of the pile. I just got my license 2 days ago, renewed my license 2 days ago.
Great.
I have not been working.
Okay.
I'm going to put this license to work. And so I don't currently have an income. If you're asking me for a payment today, I can do that.
Well, what's an amount? Once your son emancipates, your arrears isn't going to go up. It's going to be stopped where it is. So what I do when I have arrears only cases, I'm in a bizarre way treating this sort of as an emancipation case or an arrears only case today, because in a month, that is the reality. Okay. So I'm just trying to look at what can you afford to pay per month so that you don't have to come back to court and we can get the.
I see what you're saying. Well, I think I've been paying roughly $50 a week.
$200 a month?
What's that?
That's what your obligation is.
Correct. I understand that. My obligation was about $50 a week. And that has been, that was working for me when I was working. What I'm asking, would that be okay with you?
Yes. $200 a month is fine with me. Deal. And Mr. Hope, we'll just start that. It'll stay at the $211 until the child emancipates. But once he does, for enforcement purposes, we're just going to enforce a $200 a month on a arrears only case.
Okay.
And so just so you know, if your co-parent contacts us or puts it in writing or something and tells us that she's willing to forgive a certain amount that you claim you've paid, which I'm not disputing, then we can take it off. But until that happens, we can't.
I have it written down, and I'm glad you mentioned that because that's pretty significant. I mean, that's $800. That's a lot of money, sir.
Understood. Okay. It's a big chunk of what you owe. You only owe $2,000.
Yes.
We did receive in December a note from your co-parent agreeing to forgive $500, and again in February of 2023 agreeing to forgive $400. So sounds like she did that, but you need to make the payments through the MISDU.
Right.
Period.
And I received paperwork from you explaining how to do that and the different options I have. So I'm set on that.
And so going forward, even on the arrears only, don't pay your co-parent unless you want your arrears to just stay where it is and have to come back to court.
Understood, sir. Yes.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Motion order to show cause was served May 4th for June 2023 hearing. A notice of adjournment was mailed in May as a result of a payment, a non-voluntary lump sum payment that was received. So the matter was adjourned to today's date. Mr. Vogtvateen's support obligation is based on the party's first order modifying their order for custody, support, and parenting time that was entered in March of 2018. That order requires $245 a month. I would indicate that Mr. Vogtvateen had a good payment history until September 2021. Since then, it's been very intermittent. Currently, he owes $1,438.61. Of that amount, $918 is owed to the other party, the remainder in fees as well as medical support to the state. I can pull payment history up for the court's review.
What's the amount owed?
The total amount owed is $1,438.61. There was a non-voluntary lump sum paid in April of 2023 of $1,657.89. Significantly reduced his arrears.
Because I was trying to figure out, it doesn't sound like he's that far behind then.
Right.
All right, Mr. Vogtvateen, what's been going on?
I broke my hand a couple years ago, and I'm still trying to figure out if they're going to do surgery or not. They had me in physical therapy for a while, but it's not doing any justice. I actually have a job interview on Monday for Denali Services, so hopefully I can get something going.
Yeah, do you have any medical paperwork that would suggest that you're unable to work, or at least any restrictions on work?
Not since last year. I quit going to physical therapy because it wasn't working.
In the meantime, were you employed?
Yeah, I worked for myself. It's been hit and miss for jobs. I do remodeling, and COVID kind of set things back.
Okay. How can we get you back on track here? Because with your arrears, you're not that far behind with a $245 a month. I mean, how can we get you back on track?
I'm actually going to a job interview on Monday. Hopefully I can get that. And then once I get that, it's going to be in every week coming out of my paycheck.
Can you tell us again who the employer is, and then make sure that you let us know once you start the job?
Yep. It's Denali Services.
It's an interview on Monday?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What is there anything you can pay in the next 14 days?
What's that?
Anything you can pay in the next 14 days?
I can try. Right now I'm trying to get my vehicle running, and don't really have any money.
Well, I want to see $200 in the next 14 days. I'll adjourn this out 60 days to make sure we're getting things going. But if it's the same story next time, we may have a different conversation. Understood?
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
He's got one more case, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
Same set of circumstances. The original motion was filed in May. It was adjourned to today's date. There was a non-voluntary lump sum payment made in April of 23 that significantly reduced the arrearage balance. The charge in this case is only $169 a month. That's based on an order for custody support and parenting time from August of 2013. His total arrearage balance on this is also not huge. It's $1,058.75. Of that, $587 is owed to the other parent. There's a significant amount of medical support to the state, and the rest in fees.
All right, sir. Anything additionally you'd like to add from when we were just speaking?
Not really. I'm just concerned why I'm not allowed to see my kids anymore.
Okay, you take that up in a different. This is just for child support, so you're able to file a motion or speak with your co-parent about that.
Okay, I can't. I don't know how to get a hold of either one of them. They
All
block
right.
me.
So
on
on this
everything.
case, I'm going to expect $169 on this one paid within the 14 days. So those are two payments that are going to need to be paid within the next 14 days. I'll adjourn this out 60 days so we can monitor for payments. Hopefully, we'll have the income withholding order in place and we won't have to have court. But otherwise, we'll see you then, sir. If you're wanting to have an attorney represent you, you need to file a request with the court. Okay, that's the other thing. Your
Honor, am I allowed to do that and tell you right now if I can get an attorney, or do you want me to do that like after the court hearing is
You can
done?
do it right now if you're, yes, you can do that right now.
Okay, am I allowed to get a court appointed or ask for an attorney?
Yes. So I'll grant that court appointed attorney request and appoint Mr. Graff, and we'll see you. And that way we can put that in the order as well, Mr. Hug, and we'll have a record of it, and there won't be any issues. I suspect we'll be all set. We're really just trying to see if you can get into family support court, ma'am. And today we were just going to ask you why, but we don't need to do that right now because I've appointed an attorney to represent you, and that's Mr. Graff. So we will see you in 30 days.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Barnes, may I confirm? No? Okay. I guess we still have the same address as before. I'll send stuff there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for waiting.
The original motion
No-
order to
no
show
problem.
cause in
Sorry
this
about-
case was served back in October of 2022. It's been adjourned many times to today's date, ultimately. The most recent order regarding child support is the party's consent judgment of divorce entered in January of 2019, requires $283 a month for 2 children. I would indicate that Ms. Morgan's payment history historically has been intermittent, but I would also indicate that we've now got an income withholding order in place and in fact have received $232.08 just since July of 2023. She currently owes $9,121.21. Of that amount, $8,974.21 is owed to Mr. Morgan, the remainder in costs and fees. But I will indicate that we have a current income withholding order as long as Ms. Morgan is still employed with the same employer.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Morgan. So what's been going on?
Well, what's been going on lately is a couple of job changes. What was going on that occurred, the big amount due or whatever, is I was living at my parents' and very depressed and wasn't working. So that's how that happened. Right now I'm employed at Subway, but I really want to get the job before that was at Advisor Care as a home health aide. And I believe the child support was coming out of my paycheck, at least for 1 or 2. I got I think it's the FEIN number or whatever, the federal.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. I got that from Advisor Care and gave that to Eric Solani. Anyway, and then I left that due to a toxic situation in Charlotte, Michigan, which I have left Charlotte, Michigan. I am still employed by Subway, but just got hired at a new Subway, but really want to get back into home health care. So I can get the EIN number from the Subway. I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay there because I'm really looking to get to do my home health aide position instead, because that's what I like to do. So I guess it makes sense to do it however long I'm working there. So I can get that. I haven't even met the lady yet. She just hired me over the phone. My first shift is Saturday down here where I'm at, downstate.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Morgan, anything you'd like to say or add?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. So it sounds like you've got the right trajectory. You're employed. We're getting some money coming in, but it sounds like we still got some certainty on the jobs, which is good. You're looking for jobs. I'm comfortable with that. Right. Part of the problem is what that means is you are able to pay, you're not paying. Okay. Because we've got a big balance of 9,000. We don't have to worry about jail. I don't care about that. Okay. But I am going to make a contempt finding because I don't find any manifest hardship here. And so
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what did you say?
I'm going to put you on a payment plan.
A payment plan.
Okay. It's going to be it's a 2-year payment plan. You're to pay what's owed plus $87 a month. If you get an income withholding order, it'll just come out of there. Okay.
I'm fine with that.
You
I'm
shouldn't
fine
have
with
any
that.
issues, but
Right.
I have some fear. Sometimes when there's an income withholding order, I just move on and we're fine. But I have a little concern about whether you're going to keep these jobs, and hopefully you will. Okay.
I have no problem
All right.
keeping
Thanks.
jobs.
Thank you very much. I've heard from you. If you fail to pay as ordered, a bench warrant could be issued for your arrest. You may have to spend up to 30 days in jail. I do not want that. We don't want you in jail. We want you working. It's no big deal if you just pay as ordered. That's all. That's the task at hand for you with regard to child support. I'll set bond at 500. And we're all set. We'll stand adjourned. But again, ma'am, just so you know, I want to emphasize this. If you pay as ordered, there are no issues, period. Just trying to get you back on track and whittle away at the
10, 74, 74 D.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, John. Mr. Wilhelm appeared at a show cause hearing May 11th, 2023. Or actually, he failed to appear at the hearing. However, he paid $300 on May 10th of 2023. So the matter was adjourned to today's date to monitor for continued payment. That is the last payment we've received. Parties' child support obligation is based on their consent judgment of divorce entered in October 2010. Requires only $123 a month. Mr. Wilhelm does pay, but he pays inconsistently and mostly in lump sums. His total balance based on $123 a month obligation is $818. I can pull the payment history up for the court's review.
Okay, so Mr. Wilhelm, what's been going on?
Well, I'm a self-employed and I've had a few injuries lately, so I've not had a real consistent income as of late. But I did make a payment yesterday of $600, so I'm only $200 and some in rearage at this point. And I'm getting back to work again now, so I should be able to get back up and rolling again here soon.
All right. Well, I obviously I'll accept that. We don't have to talk about jail. The thing is, and I'm sure you're learning this one way or another, is that if you pay steadily, you don't have to come to court. I mean, you're paying lump sums right before court. So we don't really need you to do that. We need you to just pay $123 a month instead of the money goes to child support anyway. So it's all the same to me, I guess. But if you want to avoid court, you just pay $123 a month. That's the biggest thing.
Yes, understood, Your Honor.
I'm just going to dismiss this, Mr. Hogue, because that's kind of my warning, sir. I mean, we don't want you to waste your time in court either. Okay, it's not just about our time. You don't need to be here if you're making payments.
Understood.
All right.
Very good.
Thank you.
I did. The plaintiff is me. The defendant, my ex-wife, was on hold for a long time, but she works at the hospital, so she couldn't stay. But she wants to end all the friend of the court stuff. So what happens? How does she go about doing that?
She has to file a
contact.
motion.
Yep.
It's not something we can take care of today. You have to file a motion for that.
Okay, very good. But she needs to contact the friend of the court and file a petition or whatever to do that.
Well, it's a motion through our circuit, the circuit court. Yeah.
Okay. All
right.
right.
It gets scheduled with that hearing gets scheduled with a referee.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.